Hey guys, so I'm just on my way to the poker club in Kanawaki. For this video, I want to start off by talking about the Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul fight. So I'm pretty excited for it. So it's July 20, and as a kid, I was always a big Mike Tyson fan. I think too, I remember that was pretty much like the athlete, I was like the biggest fan. Like I remember at that time, Michael Jordan was pretty popular, and I guess there was a few other guys, but Mike Tyson was one of the big, popular guys too, and I was always a big Tyson fan. I remember when he fought Lennox Lewis, I watched that fight, and I really bought into the hype and thought Tyson was going to win. And, obviously he had no chance, I guess, but the main thing with that fight, Tyson was all just he was busy partying, doing drugs, he was way past his prime, wasn't really taking boxing seriously anymore, whereas Lennox Lewis, who's an all-time great, was right in the middle of his prime. And he put on a pretty great performance and, beat Tyson pretty easily, knocked him out in the 8th round, mostly dominated. One thing I did find pretty interesting about that fight was that very first round. Things were exciting. I know Tyson won the first round on all the cards. And I remember Lennox Lewis's trainer, Emmanuel Stewart, told him after the first round, he said something like, oh, you'd be shocked if you could see how bad he looks out there. And I feel like that idea just kind of makes you realize that Tyson had such a big presence in the ring that even someone as great as Lennox Lewis kind of got a little nervous in that first round, just being in the ring one-on-one with Tyson. Even though Tyson was such a shell of his former self, you can still see that even someone as great as Lennox Lewis needed to be told in the corner just relax out there, Tyson looks awful, you don't have to stress so hard about it. And I was thinking I'm just imagining when Jake Paul, when that first round starts and Jake Paul is just finds himself alone in the middle of the ring with Tyson, and Tyson's in full on war fighting mode. How is Jake Paul gonna react? You wonder if he's gonna get intimidated or whatever. And then the other thing too with the fight coming up is so Jake Paul's naturally a lot smaller of a guy than Tyson. I know he was fighting at around either 185 or 190 for all of his fights. He's had 10 fights so far. And now for the Tyson fight, Tyson's a guy who's naturally 220 when he's built, when he's cut, and Jake Paul's trying to put on a bunch of weight. And my thinking is in general, when guys try and put on weight and move up weight classes, they usually do it over a long time. I was thinking of someone a few examples came to mind was I remember when Andre Ward moved up from middleweight to light heavyweight. He took a few years and a few tune-up fights at light heavyweight before he finally fought Kovalev. And then even just Evander Holyfield, I know he took a while moving up from cruiserweight to heavyweight. And now just recently you look at Alexander Usyk. Remember, he had a bunch of warm-up tune-up fights at heavyweight before he finally fought Joshua. Then even after that, he had a bunch more fights before he put on a little bit more weight to fight Tyson Fury. So you can see how usually these guys, these top athletes, they take a bunch of years to put on 30 pounds and be comfortable fighting at 30 pounds. And I can't imagine Jake Paul's gonna, I already saw he's gained a bunch of weight and he's gonna put on 30 pounds. I can't imagine he's gonna be that comfortable fighting 30 pounds heavier. I'm assuming he's gonna be slower. And I just think in general, if you're going into a big tough fight, I don't think putting on 30 pounds in a quick span is a good approach. Obviously the main thing with the reason why this fight could be competitive, or why Jake Paul, a lot of people think he's going to win, is Tyson's 58 years old. So I was trying to think about it, all right, you got Jake Paul is going to be 27, Tyson is going to be 58. Kind of hard to bet on the 58-year-old, right? I was thinking too, I remember though George Foreman was pretty good at 48. So I'm all right, if George Foreman can be good at 48, you figure Tyson is a great athlete too, could be good at 48 as well, and then you're thinking, all right, could he be good at 58? Look, now I'm pretty sure these guys are on PEDs and stuff. I don't know what's off limits. I'm sure he's on some sort of PEDs to help him get ready for the fight. So all right, could he be good at 58? I'm not really sure, but he is fighting a smaller guy. And then also, look, Tyson's been doing this his whole life, right? He's literally just been knocking people out for a living, pretty much his whole life. He's doing this for decades. Whereas Jake Paul is pretty much just doing it for 5 years. And I don't know, I was thinking if you ever even go to a boxing gym or something, right? Whatever, let's say you're some guy, you're in your 20s, you're young, you're fit. If you just go with one of those trainers who's in their 60s and you do the little gloves with them and stuff, you can just kind of get a grasp of how good they are because they've been doing it their whole life. And you could you'd feel if I was ever in a fight with this guy, he would know exactly what to do to just neutralize whatever advantage of whatever skills I could have, and he would just like win. You'd feel like he would just like be able to beat you pretty easily. And I kind of get that. I'm assuming that's going to be the thing with Tyson, like versus Paul. And I also kind of think too, like, would Tyson even take this fight if he wasn't like really sure he was going to win? Like, I'm sure they're offering him money and stuff, but I've always assumed Tyson doesn't need much money because he can just make money off of being Mike Tyson, right? Like, he can just go and sign autographs or just do whatever he wants. And, you know, he's always just being paid to just like make appearances, and just, you know, everybody loves him and they just want to like, essentially can just make money off of his name. I can't imagine he needs to like fight for a living or anything. Maybe I'm wrong, but my thinking is like, the reason he's taking this fight is he's just like very confident he's going to win, and he's like not too worried about himself getting hurt from Jake Paul or anything. And but yeah, so Tyson's like about a 2-1 underdog. So yeah, I am gonna bet something on Tyson. I feel like I have to, but at the end of the day, there's no way I can bet that much. Like, I don't know how I can bet more than $100 because, like I said, the guy's 58 years old. So like, how could you like justify to yourself betting big on someone who's 58 fighting someone who's 27? But yeah, I'm pretty excited for that fight. And yeah, I guess I'm curious what you guys think. The one thing too, I was thinking about, a few things too, I think about that fight's kind of cool. It's like, I could just imagine, you know, you have like some father who's like 50 years old, let's say, and you have the son who's like 13, and they're watching the fight together, and the kid's like, you know, cheering for Jake Paul, and the dad's cheering for Tyson. I think it's a cool thing, the whole like young versus old, and bringing the generations together. And it is I mean, I'm assuming it's gonna be on Netflix, so I'm like assuming it's gonna get like a ton of views. It's kind of funny to think like probably the big event for boxing this year is gonna be 58-year-old Mike Tyson versus like 27-year-old Jake Paul. I think the whole thing's kind of ridiculous. It's kind of an event. I remember hearing about that thing when I was younger. I mean, I was too young for it, but it was that thing where I think it was like it was like Billie Jean King versus like Bobby Riggs in like this tennis match, and it was like Battle of the Sexes, and everybody wanted to watch. I guess it was like a big event that people remember. So I feel like this is a similar thing where it's like Battle of the Ages, or Battle of whatever you want to call it, young versus old. So you got a 58-year-old versus the 27-year-old, and, you know, most adults or older people remember, you know, what a force Tyson was in his time, and now the little kids, you know, with YouTube and everything, they all want to watch Jake Paul and cheer for Jake Paul. So I think it's just a really interesting thing. I am also curious just like how many people are going to tune in. Like, I do think it's going to be a thing where they get a ton of ratings, but maybe I'm wrong. I guess we'll see. But look, I'm sure the fact that Netflix is putting it on means Netflix is obviously betting that it's going to do big business for them. So anyways, but yeah, so I'm betting something. I'll bet something on Mike Tyson. I guess I'll let you guys know in the comments when I do how much I end up betting on Tyson to win. What else? So whatever, this week's been good. The last 4 days, I've made 700 American online. I Ubered just a little bit just because like the weather was nice. So I was like, you know, hanging out with friends, playing basketball and stuff. So I only Ubered. I think I only made like $200 Ubering. But online was kind of a crazy week. It was actually pretty swingy. I mean, so I play, at this point I've been playing 1-2, so mostly just 4 tabling where I have like $200 at each table. But like on the first day, I literally was getting so unlucky on Monday. And then, so I was like immediately down. I'm trying to think how much I was down. I was pretty much down like probably around 1,400 pretty quickly, which is like 7 buy-ins, just like running bad. So yeah, I was down like 1,400 pretty quickly, and then I went a lot back. Finished the session down 400. Then I played again later, went back another 200. Then the next day I played online, I ran good. I won up like a big 3-way pot where I had aces in Omaha, and I made like 800. So that was good. And anyways, after everything, I finished the week up 700. But yeah, even on the last day, I was up, you know, whatever. So after 3 days, I was up 700. On the last day, I started down 4 buy-ins. So I went from being up 700 on the week to down 100. And then I won a few pots where I made some big hands and won, you know, kind of flippy spots. Yeah, so after everything, I finished the week up 700. It was a pretty up and down week, so whatever. I guess it'll be nice to take some days off online now and try and enjoy the weekend. But yeah, so today I'm off to play live poker club in Kanawaki. I'm hoping to run good. I feel like it's been a while since I've had like a session live where like I ran good or won big flips. I know I've been kind of running bad in general in terms of just like, seems like whenever I'm involved in all-ins, I like somehow lose them, whether I'm 85 or 50 or whatever it is. I feel like I've been running bad when I'm, you know, all in against short stackers or something. So I really hope I can run good in some of these situations and just like feel better about live poker. I mean, since I've started this vlog and I'm coming back to live poker, I've been doing well, but I've just like, I haven't really been playing, my sessions haven't been that long, and I haven't really been making that much. Most sessions, it seems like I'm making like 150 fight. So I'd like to have a longer session where hopefully I can play well, make some hands, and hopefully win some pots or get some kind of momentum going for live. But yeah, so since I took when my little thing here started getting back to live, I took like 3K cash with me, and I've gone 4 times, so that 3K is now at like almost 3,800. So whatever, it's not bad after like 5 sessions. So at least I'm winning. But yeah, I haven't been playing. My sessions haven't been that long. So yeah, I'd like to start playing some longer sessions. I hope to run good. Get some more confidence back, I guess, get a bit of groove. It's interesting too because there was a while there were like, when I was younger, where I was playing pretty much full-time live. So I'd be playing like 1,200 hours a year of live, and I would do well, and then I would be playing like maybe 300 or 400 hours a year online, and it seems like I used to always do bad online or just break even and not really get much going. So now it seems kind of the opposite, where I've become someone who's playing 4 times a week live. 4 times a week I've been playing online, and like once a week live. So interesting the way how things go. I guess you just gotta kind of follow your heaters and roll with the punches, like as they say. Anyways, I guess that's all for today. Should be at the poker club in about 15 minutes. I hope you all as well. And yeah, I'm curious what you guys think about that Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul fight. And yeah, I was just thinking, I'm kind of looking forward to it. It should be a good time. Anyways, alright, that's all for now. See you guys.